Using the triangles given, determine the indicated side or angle. For a right triangle, the ratios of sides are related to the angles. These ratios are called sine, cosine, and tangent ratios. Consider the following right triangle. The side that is opposite to the right angle is always called the hypotenuse. The other sides depend on which angle we are referring to. Consider angle theta as shown. The side opposite angle theta is called the opposite side. The side that is in contact or joins angle theta but not the hypotenuse is called the adjacent side. The ratios are as follows. Sine of angle theta is equal to the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. Cosine of angle theta equals the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse. And tangent of theta is equal to the opposite side divided by the adjacent side. There is a neat way to remember sine, cosine, and tangent definitions. It's referred to as SOHCAHTOA. Sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent equals opposite over adjacent. If one angle and one side is known, we can use those to calculate any of the other sides. If two sides are known, we can calculate any of the other angles other than the right angle. To isolate for the angle, we must apply the inverse operation to both sides. As an example, if we know that sine theta is equal to 0.5, we have to take sine inverse of both sides. Sine inverse of sine theta equals sine inverse of 0.5. The sine inverse cancels out with the sine, leaving theta. This results in theta equals 30 degrees. Note, it's always important to make sure that your calculator is set to degree mode, DEG. For the first question, we have an angle of 35 degrees. Note that the A is opposite to the 35 degrees and the 12 is the hypotenuse. We then have to use sine 35 degrees equals A over 12. We can then multiply both sides of this equation by 12, resulting in A is equal to 12 times sine 35 degrees. Plugging this into a calculator gives 6.9 centimeters. For the next question, side B, note that that is the adjacent side to the angle given. The 14 is the opposite side to the angle given. Therefore, we use tangent 40 degrees equals opposite over adjacent, or 14 over B. To solve this equation, we first multiply both sides by B to remove the fraction. B tan 40 equals 14. We can then divide both sides by tan 40 degrees. This gives a result of B equals 16.7 centimeters. For the third question, here we're trying to find angle A. Note that in this case, the 8 is opposite angle A, and the 5 is adjacent to angle A. That means we use tangent angle A equals 8, the opposite side, divided by 5, the adjacent side. Angle A then is simply tangent inverse, or tan minus 1, of 8 over 5. Plugging this into a calculator, we get angle A equals 58.0 degrees. For our last question, For angle B, note that the 15 is the adjacent side and the 18 is the hypotenuse. In this case, we have to use cosine of angle B equals the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse, or 15 over 18. To solve for B, we take the inverse cosine of 15 over 18. Plugging this into a calculator, we get angle B equals 33.6 degrees.